Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Some of us are hard to hear.
We'll get away from the leaf blowers
Yes.
soon with any luck. Holy cow! Aggressive leaf blowers.
Yes.
Alright, so we wanted to start our walking tour of Drayton houses here and begin with a little background. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I will. We wanted to start with a little background of historic Charleston and where we are right now. So, how is it that the Drayton houses came to be built here in the sites that we're going to visit today? So we'll start with the founding of Charlestown. So the very first settlement is actually across the Ashley River from here. First settlers established themselves at Albemarle Point in 1670. But within a year of settling there were already colonists here on this part of the peninsula staking out lots. And within 10 years, the entire settlement had moved here to the peninsula. And that happened for a couple of reasons. They had a nice deep harbor here. They also felt like it was a more easily defensible position. And they liked the breezes here. They said it gave them nice relief from the noisome vapors that they were experiencing in the first place that they settled. So I don't actually know what noisome vapors means, but I think people were of a mind that yeah.
We're experiencing that.
So anyway, they thought it was better here.
And maybe it was then.
Maybe it was, yeah. So they started laying out these lots on the peninsula, and by 1698, they had 300 acres laid out on what they called the Grand Model. And so I think Sarah and I are flipping to the same thing. Here's the Grand Model of the Charleston Peninsula. And so in the red box is the first Drayton property that we're going to go to. So that's 276 and 277 on the Grand Model. So I don't want to skip straight to the Draytons though, because I think it's important to talk about the fact that they did not, these white colonists did not move into an uninhabited wilderness. There were people here already and have been for quite a while. There were lots of indigenous tribes already living in the region. And so that includes people like the Yamasee, the Kiowa, Wando, Stono, Edisto, Edawan. I mean, lots of different people. So their numbers really took a hit from prior contacts with Europeans. There's a lot of disease that really decimated their population. But they're still here, and they learned pretty quickly that it was in everyone's best interest to establish militaristic and trade alliances with these colonists. So that happened. But allegiances shifted frequently. It was really kind of a fraught time. And so in the early years of this colony, in John Drayton's formative years, the Yamasee War was happening, so 1715 to 1717. In that war, colonists are fighting against the same people they fought with in the Tuscarora War from 1711 to 1715. So they immediately flip-flop. First we're fighting with these people, now we're fighting against them. So it's a really tense time for everybody. And so some of the earliest English colonists here really start to form these alliances among classes. So it's wealthy white people now teaming up with middling classes of poor whites with this us against them mentality. They want to protect themselves from indigenous people, from slave revolts, and so they build a wall. So here's the original walled city of Charleston. And so they built this to protect themselves, but by about 1730, they feel like they don't need it as much. They're not as fearful of incursions from Spanish Florida. Things have kind of eased off with indigenous people in the area, and the population of the city is really booming, and so they're growing beyond the bounds of this wall. And so this first house that we're going to go see is actually right outside of that early wall. And when they started building it, building the house, that is, the wall is probably already dismantled in that section. So with that, get away from the leaf blower.